Chapter 13, Part 2. Josh Fundenberg stepped on to an Olympic kilogram scale and moved the bottom slide all the way over to the right. Next, he inched the top slide over gradually. A little more, he told himself. That's it. 134, 135, 136. Shit. Verdumma. He thought about the food he consumed over the past day, felt instant guilt. Maybe the scale's out of whack. Oh, for fuck's sake, Hannah's going to be pissed. At that second, he looked like a bear with a defiled salmon in his mouth. Now, back in the old days, he'd be proud of his weight. Back then, the women loved his bigness. They called him the teddy bear. With the bedside manners of Pavarotti, he was a gentle giant who knew how to handle the women. However, if you provoked this man, or meddled with his daughter's life especially, the attack of a pregnant elephant would emerge, transforming him into another beast altogether, a being that knew how to deal with violent situations. No, she was all that he had left, his daughter, the purest thing in his life, the only thing he had to live for. Really, all the other problems paled in comparison. So yes, let someone stick their nose in where it didn't belong. Let them observe the hell to pay. The jolly cheeks morphing into a full crimson mask of fury. It hadn't been easy raising the girl. I'd been subjected to many things that normal children never experienced. It was no wonder that she'd grown into an all-out tomboy. She had the hazel eyes of her mother, fox eyes, he liked to say, and well equipped in the chest area, a trait she'd inherited at an early age. Josh Fundenberg knew that his daughter resented him. You stole her childhood, you idiot. What do you expect? She's 27 and a grown woman, free to make her own decisions. His daughter meant the world to him, and nobody was going to steal her away. You'll be able to save money by living with me, he had told her. Screw the benefits of privacy. All you got to do is say it, and I'm out of your hair. And he had kept to his word for the most part. He gave her the space she needed. He left when she hinted that someone was coming over, and he cooked her breakfast every day. He was there for her when it came to bare needs and unconditional love. But, and this was the big but, Josh Fundenberg didn't care for her relationship with the American. In fact, he had been relieved upon finding out that Hunt had left town. Although the days of running a dozen or more whorehouses were over, Josh Fundenberg still owned a few brothels. She finally joined him for lunch later that day. You're probably up to 125 kilos. And look at what all that sugar does to your cheeks. The big man ran a hand through his soft white hair, patted his belly with the other. Don't you worry about your old pa. He can handle himself fine. He was thinking, however, whatever you do, don't let her know you've gained more weight. Promise me you'll go on a diet soon again, Pa. It's really amazing how much you can eat sometimes. And you really ought to let me color that gray hair of yours. You'd look 10 years younger. Although his hair used to be blonde, it had grayed into a bright shade of ivory. I like it gray, he said. Hannah toyed with her crimson locks. Pretty please? Through a chewed up piece of cow's tongue. Favorites. He said he'd think about it. As Josh Fundenberg listened to his daughter ramble on and on about this and that, his thoughts centered squarely on the situation involving Constantine Vanderpool and Jimmy Hunt. Although the Yank was a little naive, his daughter still reserved great feelings for the chap. Obviously, some bad decisions had been made, and now the boy was scared. Petrified and paranoid was probably a better way of putting it. Up in Ternosian's bullshit. Yosh knew that his poor health might hinder his ability to protect his daughter. In addition, their notion had changed, especially since all the murders over the past few years. More and more hard dope shops, more and more Turks, more Moroccans, more Africans, street dealers beset the neighborhoods. The Burgermeister, or the town's mayor, had no control and really no incentive to assert his authority. Women and children couldn't lope around the parks and streets anymore. None of this would have flown in the old days. Josh van den Berg had grown plain tired from it all. If it hadn't been for Hannah, he would have cashed out a long time ago and moved to Indonesia. Could he blame her for wanting to stay here, though? It was her home, everything she'd known since childhood. He had only himself to blame. Maybe when the ordeal ended, he could convince her to escape from this place. Pa, she said, as she had done 1,000 times growing up, experiencing a distressed moment. Something's happened. Josh van den Berg knew that his daughter had been holding out over lunch, not sure how to explain the situation. People are saying that Rucker Finesse was murdered last night. She started to shake. Everybody's talking about it in town. I just talked to him yesterday. Pa, he said he was going to tell me some things about Jimmy. I'm scared, really scared. Damn, how could he have not heard about this yet? Too busy eating and sleeping. Okay, listen up, he told her. I want you to lay low for a few days and let me figure out what's going on. They say he was found in the alley behind Cafe the Stair. I don't know what to think, Pa. Jimmy may be dead too. You don't know that. I've got a real bad feeling, Pa. I'll get to the bottom of this mess. Hannah looked down at her plate. Josh could tell his daughter wanted to say something else. Tell me what you've done, Maisha. Hannah hesitated for a second. Pa, I called Jimmy's mother in America. Oh no. I'm sorry, Pa. I just couldn't help it. I thought maybe he went home. What did the mother have to say? Hannah could barely look her father in the eye. Well, she was shocked when I told her that Jimmy was still alive, and she of course worried when I told her that he was missing. Josh van den Berg grumbled. Well, I suppose it's time for me to make some phone calls.